sleep problems are much more of a modern issue. We're born to sleep in a quiet, dark, cool environment, kind of like a cave. That's where we first were sleeping.
Welcome back to the next episode. I'm talking to Dr. Shelby Harris, psychologist and our ambassador on sleep. Yesterday we spoke a lot about routines and how you can change your habits. You were also talking about creating your bedroom into a pretty cave. What does that mean?
I know, it sounds so funny, right? Pretty cave. The reality is that sleep problems are much more of a modern issue. We're born to sleep in a quiet, dark, cool environment, kind of like a cave. That's where we first were sleeping many years ago. So when we think about our bedroom environment, we don't always think that way, right? So you want to have it quiet. That's the first thing. A lot of people don't realize that there are noises that can happen that can wake you up a lot at night. So people will sleep sometimes with their TV on. And when you have the TV on, even though it might be the same kind of noise, there are little changes in volume and stuff that can actually awaken you. So I'm a huge fan of using white noise machines, things that are more constant. A fan is even great. So quiet is really important. Dark is another huge thing that impacts people's sleep. So light, we were talking about earlier, being really important when you get up in the morning, but dark is super important to help your brain's melatonin that comes out naturally keep you asleep. So dark, so things you should think about. Look at your lights, look at your shades. Do you have a little bit of light come in, or is it completely dark? That's what you want, not even little bits, your eyes can sense it. So light, or you want to think about light, you want to think about noise, and then cool. This is the one that a lot of people don't think about as much. So you really want to keep your bedroom cool. When the reason for that is your body temperature actually drops throughout the night. It drops up until about 2 hours before you get up in the morning. That drop in body temperature is what helps your melatonin in your brain come out to make you sleepy. When you go to bed at night, if you're really, you don't want to be shivering, but some people, I do this, sleep with socks on. It's not the prettiest thing, but you sleep with socks to keep your feet warm, but it cools off the rest of your body. And then throughout the night, your body temperature should drop, so you want to make sure it's nice and cool, and that helps to promote sleep. And then comfortable. That's the thing that we really should be thinking about a lot too, is make sure whatever you can afford. Think about really comfortable sheets, clean sheets, pillowcases, a comforter. You can have layers so you can take things off throughout the night, and just make sure that you enjoy your living space. You want to enjoy your bedroom. You want it to be inviting when you come in.
Yeah, and you spoke earlier also about make sure that it's not too cluttered, right?
Yes.
You need a calm, serene setting.
Yes, it's really, it's a matter of what's in your brain. So if you see a lot of stuff around, it's just going to make you feel more stressed. So nice, calm, declutter everything if you can.
I always sleep with the windows open.
Yes.
So even in winter, people go like, oh, it's freezing in here, but I really like it, and I have 2 blankets.
Yes, and that's a great point. So the other thing too is that sometimes if you have a bed partner or somebody you sleep with that has a different kind of temperature that they like, it's not always the prettiest of options, but get 2 comforters for your bed. One that's heavier for you, one that's lighter for the other person, and then get a beautiful coverlet to go over it so no one knows that you have 2 different blankets underneath to keep you at different temperatures. Who cares? Not everyone's the same. So you have to find what works for you and then what works for the other person so you both can be happy. But cooler is definitely better.
And then there's another topic. Sometimes people experience snoring from their partner, or if you're a deep sleeper, that might not bother you, but if you're a very light sleeper, every single noise can wake you up. How do you stand on sleeping separately?
I don't personally have an issue with it. I do have an issue at the beginning if the person, let's say snoring, that's the most common thing that I see all the time with my patients and couples that I work with. If snoring is really bad, there's pauses, there's some choking or gasping, or it's really loud, I want that person to at least get evaluated to make sure they don't have a sleep disorder.
Exactly.
And if they've gotten evaluated and they are doing the treatment, but maybe the machine's a little louder than the other person likes, or they still are snoring even with treatment, sometimes there's only so many earplugs that you can get or white noise machines that sleeping separately, going to bed at the beginning of the night, cuddling, doing whatever you want before you go to sleep is fine. But then when you actually are going to go to sleep, sleep in separate spaces. You'll feel better in the morning. You'll have less resentment towards each other, and you'll just be happier in the long run. They call it sleep divorce in some places, and I hate that term because it makes people think that it's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you've done everything you can, you're getting treatment for it, but it's just loud, sleeping separately can help free a lot of those problems.
There's also the issue when you go traveling and you sleep in an unfamiliar environment. How do you make sure that you actually sleep well then?
Yeah, I think there are a few things. So whenever I travel, if I'm staying in a hotel, the first thing I always do, I'm thinking about darkness and I'm thinking about noise, right? So I always ask for a floor that's higher up so I don't hear street noise, especially like in a big city.
Yeah.
And then I always ask for something that's far away from an elevator so I don't hear
that's annoying.
the elevator all the time. So that's whenever I make a reservation, it's the first thing I always ask for. And then there are things that I do all the time that aren't always possible for some people, but if I'm able to, I bring my own pillow from home. Bringing your own pillow is huge because it makes me so much more comfortable. If there are certain scents that you really like, so I know that Rituals has the pillow mist. If you use that at home and you like that scent and that's what you use routinely, we are creatures of habit. So if you have that scent, if there's a candle or something that you love to travel with or have at home, travel with it if possible because it will remind you. And some people I know even travel with like the pictures from their nightstand of their family or
really,
things that
that's
remind
lovely.
them. Sometimes it's hard to black out everything. It's not pretty, but I actually have brought bags, like garbage bags, to tape on the window so that
really?
and you sleep so much better. When I travel with my kids, they sleep so much better if I put up blackout shades than if I use whatever shades the hotel has or wherever we're staying. And then eye masks, things to block the noise or block the light. And some hotels even have white noise machines to help with the noise.
Wow.
So you can always ask that, or you can get an app on your phone that plays white noise. Earplugs are great too. I just personally like white noise for myself a little bit better.
So if you're a bad sleeper or not a good sleeper, this sounds to me that you might want to start with your bedroom because that's something you can actually arrange or influence before you do anything else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not going to necessarily cure someone's chronic insomnia every single night, but it's a simple thing to fix. Just fix those things first and see if it makes a difference. It's the easiest thing to change.
Let's get us all some garbage bags and black out our
There we
rooms.
go.
Yeah. Well, great. Thanks for talking to me and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.